people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 49 of the Gregson 2 Resolve. Last time, we talked to Strongheart. He told us about his plans to basically make forensics the all-powerful force in the city. And then we went over to Sherlock's house. We met his client, who is juror number 2 from the previous case. We have to find her husband. And we are going to be heading out to the prison where the cemetery that basically Enoch Drebber was lurking around in, basically where it exists. So I have to blow on my controller, got to blow on that dead spot. Okay, let's do this. Barclay Prison is on the outskirts of London, backing onto a lonely burial ground. Its 4 high outer walls loomed quietly before us in a fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower. Yes, with the guillotine clock. And the big bird. Big Polly. This place is full of hardened criminals. I can never remember the last time a civilian was down here. I'm Yujin. I want to talk to an inmate, but to me. They have ken who I am. I'm the governor, Caiden. Oh, yes, it's a pleasure. I'm Ryunosuke Naruto, defense lawyer. And an Easterer, I see. Does that mean? Yes, I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan. Japan? Did you say Japan? Yes. Well, there's none of your kind here, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door, eh? Though, of course you'd have to come here. You are trying to pick a fight with me. What are you talking about? Oh, don't play dumb with me, as if you are naive to our people's grand ancient rivalry. Everyone knows that Scots and Japanese are ancient enemies, like brothers and sisters, or Englishmen and Scots. Or Scots and other Scots. Damn those Scots, ruining Scotland. I swear, that's one of my favorite scenes from The Simpsons. Just groundskeeper Willie. Aye, brothers and sisters. Aye, brothers and sisters. They're ancient enemies, like Englishmen and Scots, or Welshmen and Scots, or Japanese and Scots, or Scots and other Scots. Damn those Scots, ruining Scotland. Well, you Scottish are a very contentious people. You're just made an enemy for life, Skinner.
I didn't notice another prison next door, sir.
You just made yourself an enemy, lassie. Anyways, we came to... I didn't like to be so direct, but... I have no intention of speaking with the likes of your suspicious Eastern-looking folk. You suspicious-looking Easterners. And CzarThwomp, you're fumbling up my lines now, so you're my enemy. Now get out of my hair! So as soon as he finds out that we're from Japan, he reacts like this. That surely means, aye, that's right. I read Lord Van Ziek's book, Fighting the Rising Sun. I study it every night vigilantly. I look through it. I worship it.
I think it's because of the professor case.
You think so too? 10 years ago, Genshin Soki, also known as the Professor, was incarcerated at this prison. And then, after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery in the cemetery behind the prison. Aye, I might have known! You're sniffing around here about that case, aren't ya? You're agents, eh? Part of the Professor's great web, no doubt. No, not at all. We're just... Get going with ya before I punch your eyes out. We're going. Certainly the ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not going to get anywhere here, unless we can somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us.
Governor Caiden.
What are you thinking, Miss Susato?
I feel sure that the name came up in conversation recently somewhere. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some idea how to help us.
Come to think of it, I have the same feeling. I said get out! I said get out! I love how we can't even converse. He fights against the game mechanics. Let's go to Waterloo. Okay, let's check out Yujin. That's Professor Mikotoba over there. Ah, hello you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world now that I'm unpacked. But where's Judge Jigoku? Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He's taking himself off to pay his respects to all the legal bigwigs.
Having only just arrived in the country a day? Goodness, he is full of energy.
Professor, you mentioned something before about how you'd known the prison governor at Barclay Prison. Oh, Governor Caiden, you mean? So is that the same man?
Father, we must speak with the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners.
Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story. He'd start using very strong language because he declared that I am his enemy. Oh, would you? That would be wonderful if you have the time now. Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment. I'm reading newspapers. Busy drinking coffee on a comfortable settee. It's very important work. Now, I have a lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to say that out loud, did I? You Mikotobas are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts.
Or it could be that Naruto's are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts.
Yes, that's where Phoenix had gained his ability to be read like an open book. Let's not blow out now. I have an idea. What's he writing on that piece of paper? Here's a letter of introduction for you. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune. Ah, thank you. The letter of introduction has been entered into the court record. Good luck then. Okay, move. Yeah, sit on your CD. Sit on your CD, Yujin. Governor Caiden, could I at least show you this? How many times can one man turn his back on you in a single conversation? If you just cast your eyes over this, Governor Caiden. What's this then? You can pull the wool over my eyes, you no good, good for nothing Japanese student. Mikotoba. My ancient enemy. That young jock from the forensic laboratory. That Mikotoba. He owes me £5. Yes, exactly. Him.
Oh dear, perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Yujin Mikotoba's daughter, Susato.
Jings! You're the young man's daughter? You can give me my money then. And you didn't think to mention that before?
I do apologize.
Aye, well, you'd best take a seat then. Can I offer you a cup of tea, perhaps? And didn't forget to try one of these wee hand-cuffed biscuits. Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing.
I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now.
So then, what can I do for you, hen?
Well, we're currently investigating a case.
It's one of your warders, you see. He's gone missing. Missing?
That's right. It's certainly been reported to you as well, being the prison governor.
I haven't heard nothing of the sort. There is no missing persons in my prison.
Oh,
But how can that be?
it's Mr. Daley Vigil, your chief warder.
Aye, Vigil? That's right. His wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him only going missing yesterday for now. Clearly that means something to him.
Would you be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir?
Aye, of course. Examine. A bird. I never have expected to find a parrot in a prison. It must be the governor's pet.
Given where we are, it's hard not to see the poor creature as a prisoner. Let me off! Didn't that get me? Ah!
Has the bird learned to mimic the plaintive cries of the inmates in the cells? Ouch, no. He was one of 3 siblings, you see. And he still calls out the names of his 2 brothers like that all the time.
Right.
Right.
Let me out! Did I get him? Did I get me?
I hear you, Ratty. You want your dinner, eh? Didn't do it. Now, it's a very large cabinet full of papers, isn't it? It's labeled Inmate Register, look. And the files here are in alphabetical order. Well, that's 50 years worth of records for Barclay's inmates. Whether or not they left alive after serving their term. All the details about the crimes they committed are recorded in here, like an epitaph, you might say.
A record of crimes and punishments. How dispiriting.
And yet, this man seems to be enjoying tea and biscuits as he talks about it. This deer has been staring at me for a while now.
It has?
The poor thing can't fit through the small hole in the wall, but it can't get its head back out again now either. It's giving me a woeful, imploring look.
It's not real, Mr. Naruto. It's stuffed.
What? I mean, yes, of course it is. For a moment, I thought it was another assassin sneaking in via the ventilator.
I don't like to say, but I think perhaps you need to reread The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes.
Okay, I thought it was glowing. That was flashing. Okay, nothing there. Okay, we can't go over there. Okay, guillotine clock. This grandfather clock is
fitted with a terrifying blade that keeps dropping down.
It's immortal on the guillotine, a French execution device. You might have heard of it, but it's weak. No match for a gallows. And yes, before you ask, it can chop. Heads off, you mean? Ivers no, carrots and parsnips and so forth.
Oh.
If you place a large carrot at the bottom there in the moon, by evening it'll have been cut clean in two.
Well, the blade must have an almost indescribable edge on it then. I suppose these are all the former governors of Barclay Prison, are they?
Either that or former inmates who the governor has sent to the gallows.
Oh dear, they all have such severe expressions, I really couldn't deny either possibility.
Especially the one on the extreme right. His expression goes beyond severe into a whole new territory. That one's me.
I'm terribly sorry, sir.
Is it a prerequisite of the job, perhaps? Having a severe expression, I mean? Of course it's not, although it is taken into consideration. A lot. An axe, a hunting rifle, and four pairs of handcuffs. That's a daunting collection. Ah, there's a story behind every one of those. You mean the rifle was a famous killer's murder weapon, and the axe was wielded by an infamous executioner, and the handguns were once used to immobilize a fierce four-legged beast when it was arrested?
I think you're in the realms of fantasy now, Mr. Naruto.
Not those kinds of stories, Jimmy. The axe was the one I used to chop down the cherry tree at my house. Miss Caiden was nae best pleased. And the ghosts on the left are the ones I got my first burger with back when I was a bobby. Of course, after I snapped his wee arms off like twigs.
The stories were a little different to those you imagined, I think, weren't they?
Yes, to my relief. And in some small way, my disappointment. Desk. Nope, can't do anything with the desk. Okay, I think we checked everything out. Okay, Chief Warden. We understand that Mr. Vigil was the Chief Warden here at the prison. Aye, that he was. Strong sense of responsibility and dedication to the job. No doubt about it. He was a fine warder. Sorry, did you say was? Aye, he doesn't work here no more. He left the job.
Oh my!
When was this exactly? Raise a question. When was it about? It can have been much less than 10 years ago now.
What?
10 years ago? He started working here 10 years ago? Aye, as I minded, do you ken? I hadn't heard the fella's name in all that time. That's a worry if he's gone missing though. But Mrs. Vigil made no mention of it.
I think perhaps, Mr. Naruto, that his wife simply doesn't know.
Sorry, my ear was itchy.
I think she's not aware that he no longer works here.
Governor Caiden, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here? That's important, is it? Yes, I believe it may be.
What are you thinking, Mr. Naruto?
I can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago.
Ah!
Which was exactly when the professor was being held at this prison.
So Mr. Vigil actually resigned from the position of Chief Warder 10 years ago, you're telling us. What happened to make him leave the job?
In actual fact, he didn't leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter. You mean he was dismissed? It was after a particular walk. Sorry, a walk? Aye, that's our word in here. A walk to the gallows. An execution? It's the job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree and oversee any executions, you see. Only, Vigil did something unthinkable on that last walk he was manning.
What did he do?
I'm sorry, but I can never reveal that information. But the count, though, it's very rare for a chief warder to be relieved of his post.
But why wouldn't Miss
Vigil know about that? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here. I will never get anything about that, I'm afraid.
Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal?
And what would that be, Hen?
That last execution that Mr. Vigil was responsible for overseeing. Was it by any chance the professor's?
My thoughts exactly. I'm sorry, I really am. But I'm at no liberty to answer that.
I see. My father came to Britain all those years ago in order to study forensic medicine. But you seem to have been well acquainted.
The dead room, the prison, and the cemetery have a lot to do with one another. After all, they need fresh courses for forensic research. Do you ken?
Yes, I can imagine. The advancements in medical science isn't always particularly palatable.
Your father worked in the laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard. In the basement of St. Steiner's. It's still in use today. Darn earage. St. Steiner's. That's come up before, I'm sure.
Yes, that's right. We've been there.
Mikotoba and I have to use to ride a carriage together and negotiate terms. For more fresh material, I suppose. Aye, and we used to sit in the air for hours and gab on about the section and all sorts. Ouch, it takes me back. Over a pot of tea and a plate of cough biscuits, of course.
How charming.
He was a good fella, your father. Reliable and decent to his work. But I'm afraid I'll never understand you Japanese. Because of Gensha Sogi, I suppose. Well, I cannot tell you anything else.
Thank you so much for your time, Governor.
Oh, one moment before you're away, Hen. I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Ah, found it. Here, take this as a wee souvenir of your visit to the prison.
What is it?
That's Vigil's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course.
Oh my, are you sure?
Aye, it's no trouble at all. It's no original mind. Vigil's dismissal notice has been entered into the court record. Thank you very much, Governor Caiden. Well, in the return, do me a favor and never come back here. That case is closed.
Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being.
Yes, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Sholmes with what we found out about Mr. Vigil. Okay, let's go. What we tell Mr. Vigil, I wonder. Okay, any other dialogue? Okay, oh. Okay, we got new stuff. Ah, look, we have an opportunity here now, whilst the governor's away.
Mr. Naruto, you could be in prison if you were caught.
That's a good point. Perhaps not then. Okay, that was all apparently. So let's head back to Baker Street. Okay. 1st of November, Sholmes' Suite. We're back.
Hello, you two. Hello, you two. I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones for us all.
Ah, so that's what the delicious smell is. Greetings, my dear fellow. You've returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating. Hello, Mr. Sholmes?
Hello, Mr. Sholmes?
Say nothing. Your thoughts are written all over your faces in any case. It turns out that it may have been advisable to test my air restoration tonic before the application.
Oh, my.
Ray, tell me, what of our water friend? Have you gotten some new information? Oh, yes. Something very surprising, in fact. Though it's not a patch on your hair, to be honest.
It most certainly isn't, but still, we discovered that...
I don't...
Sholmes! Drop everything, Sholmes! This is more important!
Gina!
I can't Adam and Eve it! What's happened?
Clearly a very great matter indeed. For Mr. Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever. I based it off of Tumblr.
It's the boss.
What do you mean, Inspector Gregson?
He tried to run away from Iris. He tried to escape. He tried to go to France, but Iris, she was too fast for him, and she got him. The boss, he's dead. Iris got him. He couldn't run fast enough. That's what happens when you try to run away from me. I didn't let Gracie go.
What?
They just found his body, shoot with a pistol. And worse up, Toby's dead too.
What?
Toby was in the street. I left him outside on the road. He was there, and then some mad omnibus driver ran him down. He was yelling something, Beepo doesn't want to die. Beepo doesn't want to die.
What?
But, Inspector Gregson.
Sulky Sulkerson is dead. He was murdered. And now I can imagine just news spreads to the prison. Then just basically Nash and Ringo, they break out. And they basically do everything in their power to escape. So that way basically they can plan Big Brother Sulky's funeral. Sulky, basically Gregson is basically loaded into some coffin. And he's basically giving a funeral march down the East End. Because basically they built up this legend of Sulky Sulkerson as basically being this saint among men. Basically, Gregson's being carried around. He has a funeral procession behind him of the entirety of the East End. And just all the while, basically, Nash and Ringo are singing Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace! I don't know the lyrics.
The
us, bruv.
No, not Gregson. Now who will I control?
Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story. How we're even more screwed on red money now. Because now we can blackmail Gregson.
You want to learn about the Red-Headed League? Gina, I wanted to show you this. No, what am I thinking? This is hardly the time, is it? Okay, though what I do think it's the time for is to end the episode off. Anyways, I think now would be a good time to end the episode off. I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back with the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever they want. With that, I'll see you next time. Bye.